Hello, it's been a while. I did a first take of this, but then my phone ran out of batteries, and it ran on for about 20 minutes, and there's a lot of rambling in it. I'm in a new place, so I don't know if I sound quieter than usual, but that's probably why. Okay, let me get to what I originally said in that video. I don't really have any faith in the foreseeable future of the Western anime distribution industry. Um, and I it's be a lot of it is my personal taste, but a lot of it is I think a lot of these series are historically significant and just aren't getting brought over to the West. And it goes for anime and manga has been making strides recently with Ashita no Joe and Gold Legend of Kamui. But that took 50 years, and I don't have any faith that they're going to get any of the series I want. So, let's talk about it. Discotek was the main focus I wanted to go over. It's just the fact that a lot of Discotek series a lot of series Discotek puts out go out of print very quickly. And they're trying to remedy this with the Discotek deep dives, but I more mean, let me give a personal example. Space Warrior Baldios. I watched that anime last year, and it's one of the favorite anime I watched last year. It's a top 10 favorite mecha anime, very close to top 5. In terms of anime in general, I'd be in my top 15. It's very space opera-y. It's very like Leiji Matsumoto in that way, but it's got a super robot touch to it, and a pretty bleak ending. I mean, I think it was before Ideon, like a good 2 years, no, a year before Ideon. And it had a pretty, I'm not going to spoil what happens, but it's a pretty depressing ending. I think it's brilliant. It's a brilliant anime. If you haven't watched it, you should watch it. But yeah, the movie is out of print. The Go Shogun TV series is out of print. All of the J9 trilogy is out of print, which for me fucking sucks because I've been watching the J9 trilogy. Like I watched Bryger last year, and I watched Backsinger. It's a weird name this year. I've been kind of going. I don't know if by the end of this year I'll watch Sasoriga or I'll wait next year to watch it. But yeah, those go for ridiculous amounts of money. It went completely out of print, and it's like if you go on eBay, some people are selling like Sasoriga, like the individual sets, for like $900, $800 for each of them, which is fucking ludicrous in my opinion. But yeah, there's none of that. What else has gone out of print? It's just a lot of stuff just goes out of print really fast with Discotek, and I don't feel like buying from them anymore, and I refuse to until they tried fixing it with the deep dives, but a lot of those series are not super interesting to me that they put in the deep dives. The Arcadia of My Youth Blu-ray is in the deep dives, which is basically some of the series they had to save because Crunchyroll basically delisted a lot of Discotek, and a lot of people on the Discotek. So there's a really good post on the Discotek subreddit about how they do not understand what is the status of some of these licenses, and like for example, Go Shogun, the Time of Trangia, which is the movie for Go Shogun, and the Space Warrior Baldios TV series are still expensive, but they're in print, I'm assuming still. The Baldios movie and the Go Shogun TV series, the other half of each of those series is completely out of print. So why should I buy them if I can't get the other half of the TV series? And if they can't, can they still be reprinted if they have the other half of the TVs? Like that's what I mean. I don't know how exactly they worded it, but like the Discotek are not very transparent or good at clarifying when something is out of print, or if it can be reprinted, and if NDAs are signed that can prevent them from doing that. they're just very cagey. And Justin Sudeikis basically responded with, "I understand everybody's of frustration." And they give 3 examples for why it happens. And it's just, I don't, if like all the series I would have bought from them, because I bought most of my Lupin DVDs are distributed by Discotek. I have quite a few other Discotek Blu-rays. I have Crying Freeman. But if I would 100% pay for Baldios on DVD, I would have paid for J9 on Blu-ray and Go Shogun on Blu-ray if they didn't go out of print immediately. Like, what is the point from buying from this company if all the series I want are going to go out of print in a year or less than a year anyway? It doesn't make any sense, and I don't feel confident supporting that. I do not think the boutique model Discotek uses is working. It just doesn't, because all these amazing series get put out finally, and then there's a limited time frame, and they go away forever. Like, is J9 ever going to be distributed ever again on Blu-ray or DVD in the foreseeable future, or for the rest of time? Probably fucking not. And now you have to pay $900, $800, $300 for. It's all over the place, and it alerts. They have an out of print list, so that alerts scalpers, and scalpers buy it and start reselling it immediately when it goes out of print, because they post a list, and it's just, it dries up the market. I cannot pay for that. I like saving money. I have a job. I don't want to waste money on stuff like that. Why do I have to pay $900 for an anime I like? Do you know what I mean? And it's just, there's so many other series, and this is the other part too that I wanted to focus on more, is licensing. There are so many great series that are never going to be licensed by Discotek. They're just not. And I don't even think Animego is going to get them. Space Battleship Yamato is the big one. It's like, between it and Lupin, or several other, Leiji Matsumoto is my all-time favorite anime. And I don't think that's ever going to come out anytime soon. I'd love if Discotek or Animego got them, but given how complicated the estates of Nishizaki and Matsumoto are, and all the licensing issues that's been over, I also just don't think Voyager Entertainment is willing to risk putting something that's so culturally significant to the Western audience, like in a Blu-ray, unless they're going to be doing something like what G-Kids does, and a film company or something is helping them. Because, like, keep in mind, Space Battleship Yamato was the first serialized science fiction TV series. You get no Gundam. You don't get a lot of anime. You don't get Evangelion. You don't get a lot of other culturally and historically significant anime without Space Battleship Yamato's influence. And given that, like, it is such, like, there's a very good interview with Hideki Anno about it, because he's doing the new Yamato thing. And I don't see any of the Japanese companies taking a risk to license it yet. And I think that's a more positive example, but it's still unfortunate. I'd really love judo, anything Tatsunoko, really. I know Sentai did Kashan, but I'd love Yatterman, or Judo Boy, or Yatterman or Judo Boy, basically, are the ones I want. Or not Tekkaman Blade, the original 1970s Tekkaman. I'd love if they got any of those, but I don't see that happening at all with them either. That's not going to happen. I still find it kind of crazy Yatterman hasn't been licensed by anyone yet, given it's also very iconic in Japan and historically important, given the Duranbo Gang inspired lots of children's anime, mostly Team Rocket from Pokemon. But if you see a woman and 2 bumbling guys or characters in a children's anime, it's very likely that, no, it is basically confirmed Duranbo Gang and Time Bokon inspired all of them. Yeah, I don't understand. I'd love to get Judo Boy on Blu-ray. I really want to watch that series, because I grew up watching Speed Racer, and a lot of the same staff who worked on Speed Racer worked on Judo Boy. It's basically Speed Racer, but it's martial arts. And it's just as insane as that concept sounds. And I'd really love to watch it. But they're not going to get that. Original Tekkaman, I don't think they'll get either. Yeah, I don't see them getting any of that. What other anime would I like from them? Dairugger 15. I'd really love if they got Dairugger 15 because they did Go Lion and Albedas. I can't remember. It was a Toei Super Robot show that was going to be the third Voltron, but it never did. So they got two of the Japanese Voltrons. I'll explain it for the normies out there, or the people uninitiated. Normies is mean, basically. But they didn't get Dairugger 15, which I think is very unfortunate because Dairugger 15 is the most interesting and compelling one because it's basically Legend of the Galactic Heroes if it was a Super Robot show. There's lots of politics about it. There's lots of politics in it. There's like a 15 vehicle combiner mech, which is utterly ridiculous, but the fact that it's in this setting of all this political machinations going on and all this actual military strategy, it's much more like Locked as opposed to Yamato, or like they're mapping out the strategy of how they're going to attack. And there's like several planets involved, and there's people misinterpreting orders, which leads to it's very political for a Super Robot anime, and it's very intriguing. They're not going to get that. I love Argento Soma because it's a Sunrise anime, but I don't think they're going to get that. And if they do get these, like, how are they even going to be in print if they go out of print in less than a year? If you know what I mean? Like, there's no point. Like, that's genuinely how I feel. There's no point buying from Discotek if all these series are going to go up in prices. Like, I bought Overman King Gainer for like $60. It probably started as like $20 or $30 when it first released, but the prices just go up. And if it goes completely out of print, why would I waste so much money on eBay to get it? Like, what's the point of buying from a company if they're not going to keep these series in print anyway? And I can just go on a website and watch it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know Discotek isn't naive. They probably know this, but like, I don't think Discotek knows exactly what it wants to be anymore. I think they're trying to hedge their bushes. I genuinely don't think that they know their brand. Do they like all these older robot anime, or older sci-fi anime, or older anime that they can rescue and bring to the West for the first time? Because that's kind of the audience I'm a part of. Or are they more into like, because they get stuff like Kiss X Sis and Lovely Complex too. So they get all this modern stuff too, and it's kind of weird. And it's like, dude, what is their brand? Like, and I get that it's the whole idea is they're rescuing these licenses, but I don't know. I don't think Discotek can last another decade with the boutique model. I just don't. I'm not going to buy from a company that can't keep that. The moment they put something out a year later, or even less than a year later, like with J9, it goes completely out of print forever. And then that series is never going to see the light of day in the West again, probably ever. There's no point in buying from them. I don't get it. I do not want to buy from a company that can't even do that. I don't get it. It makes me like feel depressed at thinking about the future of anime if none of these series. And speaking of, in manga, it's not much better. Like, as I said, it took 50 years to get Ashita no Joe, but I'm still shocked. Not a single Mitsutaro Yokoyama manga has ever been released in the West, ever. Like, God, how long ago? Like, almost, I have no clue why Tetsujin hasn't been released, given it's 70 years old, basically. 70 or 60 years old. And it's so historically significant and important, given it basically invented mecha and robots in manga and anime, becoming the big thing. Babel the Second, or Babel 2, that kind of rhymed. Babel 2, because I think it's one of the first big battle shonen, is in like how we modernly think about it, because there's power up, there's like power, and there's power levels, and there's jumping off of walls and fighting and like just superpowers. Hirohiko Araki said that he got Jotaro's uniform idea from Babel II. So yeah, that's also historically important. And Mars, which is one of the bleakest, has one of the most bleakest endings to a manga I've ever read. I cannot imagine reading that as a child in the 70s. Like, I'm not going to spoil what happens at the end of Mars, but it very clearly inspired Evangelion and Ideon, with just the way everything is structured and how the ending is laid out. And it's also brilliant, so they could easily market it as like what the manga that inspired Evangelion or the manga that invented mecha. They got Sangokushi, which is a Chinese historical manga. I know that's kind of niche, but it's a romance of the Three Kingdoms, so not that niche. Giant Robo. It's like I'm just going down the list of everything. Like, yeah, I am baffled by why that hasn't happened. And like, will we really have to wait a century for any of his manga to see the light of day? Like, that's awful and that's bullshit. I don't want that. He also has a manga about like a shonen rocket jet corps, where it's like these kids and they fly in rocket jets to save the world. It's like a rocket jet air force, and it looks really cool. But that one's out of print probably even in Japan. He did the first ninja manga, yeah, like Ninja Arashi's Ishinomori. But he did one of the first mangas where ninjas were the main focus. Like, there's so much you can go over with him and like market, and like, his 100th birthday is coming up, so maybe, but I'm not holding my breath, and that just makes, I don't want to wait a century for any of his series to be released in the West, because that's just sad. What other manga? Satoru Ozawa, none of his manga have been released in the West. I know they're niche, but Submarine 707 and Blue Submarine number 6, but given he's one of the few first-generation mangaka who trained under Tezuka still alive, I think he is. They haven't updated anything, but he hasn't posted on Twitter in like a year. I think he's okay. I hope so, but none of that. Lock the Superman, another very important shonen manga, but then again, it's long. What other manga? None of Cyborg 009 post 10 volumes. No Ishinomori besides Kamen Rider and Go Ranger, which is some of the biggest bullshit ever, in my opinion, because the fact that Tokyo Pop ended at like volume 10, it's off. It just sucks, because right after they get past the 60s style of Cyborg 009 is when Ishinomori really starts shining. Battle with the Gods is one of the greatest works of manga and like just art, period, in my opinion. I think it's super historically important in how manga evolved. It's utterly brilliant. I cannot stress enough, if there's one thing you need to read from Cyborg 009, it's read Battle with the Gods. It's not Mythos, which is the arc where they actually battle gods. Battle with the Gods is like them wrestling with the idea of God itself, and it ran in Com, which Phoenix ran in. So it's very avant-garde and stream of consciousness. And on that note, we have Fantasy World June, which is another brilliant manga. Like, every manga Ishinomori started making from like the late 60s, like 1968 or 69, up until like the mid 80s, is just, talk about like a amazing run. Fantasy World June is brilliant. It's like some of the greatest artwork ever. That's never going to see the light of day. Sabu and Ichi is one of my favorites. It's still my favorite samurai manga. And that's never going to see the light of day here. Like all the later Cyborg 009 arcs, all the shoujo arcs, like Snow Carnival, and the one in Yomi. No, not Yomi. The one where they fight Norse gods. Battle with the Gods, Angels, the Temple of El Germain, I think, or Saint Germain. Yeah, Temple of Saint Germain or Undersea Period. It's like all when like Cyborg 009 really like when it really started heating up and the artwork started looking gorgeous and like Ishimori was really going all out with the freaking philosophy and ideas, and like none of that was going to see the light of day. It's just very unfortunate. And Galaxy Express 39 in its original form has never made it to the West. Harlock and Yamato have, but none of that. Yeah, I just don't have any faith any of the companies I want are going to get these series. And on that note, I think I don't get the impression anyone working for these companies like Discotek is really happy. I think social media plays a part. They just all come, especially Savakis. I mean, I think I've said it before, but Savakis, I think Savakis is sardonic and he doesn't really like anime all that much. I know he said in a Forbes interview he likes Go Shogun, The Time of Stranger, and like a lot of that philosophical type stuff, and I like that too, but just based on how he conducts himself online and just how he talks, and like I get the feeling that he is burnt out and jaded and sardonic and miserable all the time. And I think part of that is like he's still in survival mode and he's not willing to take really very big risks, which I guess is fine. But I think he saw when he worked for Central Park Media, like how the company went bankrupt, and he's just constantly living in fear of that, and he doesn't want to admit it to himself that he's living like that or he's thinking about that. So he's just in survival mode with everything. I do not think he has faith in Discotek. I think he's jumped ship with Discotek and is going to AnimeGo to try, because they got a World Masterpiece Theater series out, which was huge, but are they going to get Anne of Green Gables and Marco, the ones directed by Isao Takahata? Probably not. And that's also very unfortunate because both of those are historically significant. Are they going to get Heidi, Girl of the Alps? Probably not. Is Discotek going to get Argento Soma? I can see it, but I don't even know. Like, I don't know if they can get any of these series. I'd love if they could. I'd love if they could get these more historically significant series. I get it's complicated, but like I do not. If they cannot like keep some of these series in print for like more than a year, what's the point of buying from them? Is my philosophy. Which is why I stopped buying from them, because a lot of the series I would have bought are now gone. So, and Deep Dive doesn't have anything I want. So do they need my money? Do I deserve to give them my money? Me personally? No, I'm not paying for something if they're not going to get any of the series I want. That's me personally. But if they can't even keep a lot of them in print, then what's the point? Which I've said before, but like all the Anime News Network people, I think they're miserable. Like, I mean, Justin compared MD Geist to working on scat hentai, and it's like, come on, dude. It's not that bad. Like, I just think these people, like, I think they're jaded and they're just miserable. They don't like talking about anime anymore because they've done it for so long. Like, I understand Justin, I'm probably overthinking it, and Justin does have some anime he likes, but just based on how he talks, I don't get that impression. I think he's way more into the industry side of how everything works than anime itself. I think the anime he likes are just very few. At the very least, he probably has like a top 20, top 30. Or maybe I'm being a jerk about that, but I don't get the impression, any of them. Mike Toole, however, I do get the impression. I've read like some of his articles, and I get a lot of people don't like him for his political opinions. I understand completely, but at the same time, he can, in his ANN, compared to some of the other ANN or Anime News Network writers, he can separate his politics from when he talks about anime, basically. Like, he hasn't written since 2019, Jesus Christ. But like, even in his like Anime News Network articles, I can genuinely tell that he genuinely loves and talking and watching anime. Like, I genuinely get that. And like even in the interviews where he's being interviewed, I get that he genuinely loves anime. It's just a shame that I think people are the opposite, where they like Justin Sudeikis more than Mike Toole, but I'm the opposite because Justin Sudeikis just doesn't seem to like talking about anime. And maybe him and Shabes or someone are just going to see this and they're recommended, or someone's going to correct me, but I don't have a lot of faith in it. I don't understand. It's just a lot. It's a lot to think about. It's depressing to think a lot of these series are going to be out of print forever and never come back, and other people will get the opportunity to see them because they don't like watching on websites. Zambot 3, that's out of print. A lot of Sunrise stuff goes out of print that isn't Gundam. And that's just in general, but still it's unfortunate. Robot Romance is almost completely out of print, I think, besides Voltes 5. But all of Robot Romance is out of print. The Robot Romance trilogy, all of J9. They got, I don't even know. I don't want to keep buying from these people if they don't really seem like they enjoy what they're doing, or they like lecturing people. That's the thing. They like lecturing people, especially Anime News Network, but I think they just like lecturing people and coming off like they know more. And I'm going to give it to you straight, guys. As a consumer, that's kind of alienating. And I know I'm on my Discord. I have such a wide variety of tastes, and I say that. Like, I read some manga that's super popular in Japan. I don't read a lot of manga right now that's super popular. I don't read really too much from Shonen Jump besides Captain Tsubasa, and that's because not a lot of it interests me. And we all have different strokes, as Stephen Foster would say. But yeah, I don't. If all these series I would have loved to buy go out of print, is it my fault for having different tastes back then? In like 2019 when I started buying Lupin, is it my fault as a consumer I just didn't buy them sooner? I would like to think not, but maybe it is. Maybe it is all my fault that I can't freaking buy these and I don't have enough money and I'm trying to save money. But like, I don't, it's a lot. I don't think these people like doing it. And that leads me into freaking a very short rant. I saw some translator who's translated Harlock and Yamato, and he's 1971, which means he would have grown up watching Star Blazer, same time my father and uncle would have been watching it. He has a Japanese wife, and he translated Onward Towards Our Noble Deaths by Shigeru Mizuki. And when in an argument about localization said anime is not there to teach you about culture, it is there to entertain you. And I'm just like, motherfucker, you translated a manga about the most turbulent time in Japanese history by a man who got his arm shot off in World War II. Why the fuck are you saying that? Do you have that little self-awareness? And you like the same things I like, which makes it more insulting to me. It's like, how dumb do you think I am? It's like, the entire manga Showa, A History of Japan, is about the entire Showa period, which modern anime, manga, modern Japanese culture in general would not have existed without everything that went on with the Showa era. Not just World War II, but everything that went on at post-World War II. And you just saying that, it's part of the problem. I think that is part of the problem. Many people want to have that mindset. Anime is just there to entertain. It is only there to entertain. It can be art, but it shouldn't be treated as historically significant. It just needs to make more money. And even when Discotek gets those cool series, they go out of print immediately. I don't feel good supporting a company where none of the series I want stay in print anyway. What's the point? Genuinely, what is the point? If anyone from Discotek is watching this, why should I keep buying from you? What are you gonna... I know you can't tell me licenses in the future, but why should I keep buying you if your series is gonna go out of print anyway? Most of the series you get go out of print. It's just the truth. Most of the series Discotek licenses go out of print in less than a year, or at most a year. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. If none of these series are going to stay in print, I'm not buying from Discotech. And if they are going to act like, if they're going to talk down to people sometimes, they don't do it all the time. I know some of them genuinely love anime. But if you're going to, like, I don't think it's like, it's more on social media. If you're going to talk down to people on social media, like I saw their social, people were freaking out that Hajime no Ippo was going out of print and Gunbuster was going out of print. And then their social media manager was like, I wish people, like, did like a sarcastic anime gif. Like, no, not all of this stuff is going out of print. It's like, some people just have stuff in stock and we can always relicense it. But you don't. None of you relicense it. You don't pay, none of them relicense it or like keep, it's just infuriating. It's like, why? I don't get it. Like, there was one live stream where some fan was asking for a Sonic X redub, and Justin Sudeikis was like, "No, we have explained this repeatedly." And they threatened to ban him or something. And it's like, you guys maybe think that was maybe a younger fan who is probably autistic. You just did that not cross the mind, because like, if you're gonna talk to your customers like that, why would I buy from you? Like, you know what I mean? It's like there's a lot of stuff that I don't think they're doing as well as they should be doing, given that they're a brand that rescues all these old and, in my opinion, valuable series. I don't feel comfortable buying from them. I don't. And I don't want to be, if any of them are listening, I don't want to be lectured about why I should buy from you. I've already made up my mind. Nothing a Discotech fan can say will make up my mind. If they license Space Battleship Yamato or Metal Armor Dragnar, then I will buy from them again. But that's not going to fucking happen. Because from the looks of it, it looks like Sentai is going to get Dragnar and Vifam and all the important Sunrise Real Robot series. I don't think Space Battleship Yamato is going to come out in the foreseeable future. The original, not the remakes. I don't see any of the Tatsunoko stuff either. It's just a big shame. Of course, you can always watch it on websites, but it just makes me feel sad that there's all these people who buy Blu-rays and collect them and like watching anime, and probably only watching anime through collecting Blu-rays and stuff. There's still people like that out there, and they're just never gonna, or watching Crunchyroll, and they're just never gonna experience it at all. It's the biggest shame. The biggest shame. I just want I just want I just want the company to do better. I don't think it's going to last another decade. I genuinely don't. I get that Gen Z are buying more DVDs, but with like nearly every series they license going out of print, not nearly every, but most of the series they license going out of print, I don't think Discotech will last another 10 years. And I'd love to see them last another 10 years. I don't want this video to come off like I don't like Discotech because of the Lovely Complex fiasco. I genuinely do. I do support Discotech. I think they do great work at restoring all these old masters and subtitling. It's just unfortunate. It's very unfortunate that like this company that I used to love and I used to genuinely buy stuff to support them, it's just I don't see any of their series staying in print. I can't explain it any other way. I wish they would just come off as better, like manage their social media more, not come off as like jaded and sardonic. I mean, Justin Sudeikis comes off as jaded and sardonic, and if Justin is going to comment on this, then please, by all means, Justin, do. But I don't get the impression that he likes anime, or if he does, he at least doesn't try to make any attempt to show it. I just think he very much likes talking about the industry, which is perfectly fine as well, but I don't get the feeling he actually likes watching anime, at least anymore, in my opinion. Yeah, it's sad, man. It makes me feel sad. I'd love to see all these manga and anime. The manga thing was more personal. That's not any really licensor's fault. Or maybe it is. Maybe a lot of licensors just in Japanese, even on the Japanese side, just aren't willing to take risks if they can pump out more popular shit. But yeah, I'm not going to buy from Discotech anymore. I might buy from Animego, but if Discotech doesn't even step up their game, then I'm not even going to buy from them if I can just watch Dagger of Kamui on a website anyway, as much as I love Rentaro. Alright, I think that's all I wanted to say. hope to do more discussions in the future. I know this one was rambly. I think my first take was better. I hope I passed the audition.